are so clean and wonderful when we have all these natural seeps of 100 million gallons a year, roughly. I don't remember the exact number.
Wow, that's a lot.
But yeah, you have to look that up. But they're called natural seeps, SEEP. And the natural seep is something that will put all this oil into the water. So how come when you go to the ocean, you don't come out and see an oil sheen on your skin? How come you don't look out in the ocean and see an oil slick, a rainbow slick?
Right.
Because the Earth has a way of dealing with these. It always has.
So magnificent.
It's on the surface. It's on the surface, yes. Then it ends up colliding and accreting onto particles that get heavy, fall down to the bottom. They roll around on the bottom like tar balls and get reabsorbed into the ocean floor. Okay. And then methane-eating bacteria get loose and hydrocarbon-eating bacteria get loose and start plowing away and eating at the oil as well. So there's all kinds of things that happen naturally to offset some of these things that occur. It's natural that the Earth was doing it. In other words, a niche is opening up. Ooh, more oil, more methane. Right. Oh, it's a niche for a kind of life that likes methane.
Yeah.
And boom, out comes a life, and boom, there goes the oil, and there goes the methane, rather. Wow. So the Earth has a way of self-regulating, and that's something that it goes unnoticed, unstated many times, and that really bothers me, because they should state that and be very clear about it.
The Earth is almost. Would you? I hate to say this in a way, or put you on a spot. It seems like the Earth is almost a living creature in itself.
Well, there's the Gaia hypothesis where the Earth is alive. And it certainly acts like something that's responsive. When something occurs, like an oil spill, the Earth has a way of cleaning it up. Not in a way that we understand as life would do it, but in a way that seems to be a process.
Right.
Created by the plethora of life on this planet and the different types of life that eat different things.
Yeah,
and that's the
checks
kind of
and balance.
The Earth is a big check and balance machine.
It's amazing. Right. It's amazing. And I don't, probably be wrapping up in a couple of minutes, and I could talk to you all day, but
you have.
Yeah. People tend to think the religious folk, they're like, oh, I wanted to get into I want to get into heaven, and listen, that's amazing. That is amazing. Do you, boo? But I don't think people truly realize what a paradise that we live on right now. That people take for granted.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And is that why? And is that why? Are humans the reason UFOs are here, or is Earth the reason UFOs are here?
I believe Earth is the reason, and I'll tell you why. Because, as I said, I'm a carbon bigot. That's right. You're looking at someone who's prejudiced. I am. Carbon is the thing. I think that life in the universe is, by and large, going to be carbon-based. Carbon is the only element in the periodic table with the flexibility to bond with and break bonds with more things than any other element, even silicon. People say, oh, silicon-based life. No, silicon is a maker of crystal lattices many times, and it's a very robust bond maker, not a really good bond breaker. In fact, you can tell all your friends next time you go to the beach, hey, you're walking on mostly gas? Huh? Yeah. Silicon dioxide, 1 silicon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. Hey, by atom count, you're walking on mostly gas, pal. Hey, see you later.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah, that's true. So the bottom line is that silicon dioxide and things like that, you can break those bonds, okay, by burning it under high temperature. But there's not many chemicals that can disassociate a grain of sand into its particles, right? So into atoms. So the original atoms. So, you got to look at the robustness of the bonding process. And silicon is a great bonder. It loves to make bonds, and it doesn't like to let them go. Okay. So, and silicon's right below carbon in that column in the periodic table. Carbon, right? Number 6. Yeah. And down you have silicon. Well, carbon, silicon, and what's below and above, those elements below carbon are the most like elements to each other that could do what carbon does. That's what the columns kind of mean. So you would think the next most likely element that could do what carbon does is right below it, and that's silicon. And that's why people say, what about silicon life? Because of this property. But it's a night and day difference. Silicon doesn't make nearly as many bonds as carbon can. And your body right now is making and breaking carbon bonds as we speak by the thousands and thousands and billions. Okay, so if you had silicon in you, it would just sit there.
Right. It wouldn't be able to break it. It would maybe break it, but it wouldn't break it.
Right. It might end up in your kidney and you pass it as a kidney stone, or I don't know. That's probably a different thing, but still, it's a joke. Right. But the bottom line is silicon would be inert to your body. It wouldn't be something that you could utilize in any way.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Then that's, oh God.
I know, poof, right? That's how it works.
It's really every time I have a conversation with you, man. It's like
we went from going about like how to travel from here to there in a heartbeat, to the deep ocean, to oil, to the congressional hearings,
to your
to my experiences.
Yeah,
to
covered a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot there, man. This is like 6 shows.
Yeah, and what I want to start doing with the show and with YouTube specifically, because the audio platforms we do very well with. It's YouTube that we have a problem with, and it's frustrating. But what I want to do is I want to do more profiles on people in ufology, and you're in Connecticut, you're really close.
Yeah.
So I would love to talk to you more about that and what my plans are, because I've already talked to other people in MUFON, like Kathleen Martin, Earl Grey Anderson, and doing short, hour-long profiles on them and what they've contributed and their story in ufology. And I think it'd be really cool to get. You've done so much, and I don't think people give you enough credit. And
well, I don't sit there and crow about it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't tell you about, we didn't even talk about the missing time I had when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Right.
And that's what got me into astronomy. There's a whole path there. It's a lot of circuitous bends.
Yeah.
That life takes you through.
And each person, the way they get here to this field, to this topic, to this community, whatever you want to call it, it amazes me.
Yeah.
Because it's something that it's like no other. When you get entered into it, it's not like something else where you can just walk away from it, because there's just so many questions, and like the existential type of questions. And it's just, I don't know, whatever gets a person to start thinking openly, in my book, is a good thing. So, Marc, it's always great to have a conversation with you. I know you got the Jimmy Church gig tonight, so I don't want to keep you too much longer.
No worries. Thanks, man. It was good to talk to you.
It's always good to talk to you. And like I said, we're going to talk, because first off, I really do want to do that profile. But what do you got going on in the future, or upcoming future? Anything that you want to shout out?
I just did a whole bunch of string of conferences, and right now my summer is relatively clear. I am teaching a course on 3D printing lunar craters later on this month, and it's going to be in place. It's going to be with 3D printers around me. We're going to be at a special lab doing that. That's going to be cool. And I'm also going to teach cratering, how craters work, and we're going to actually make craters, by using large objects being thrown into simulated lunar soil that I've made. So it's actually a pretty cool process.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll see crater rays made and understand. You could do all kinds of calculations too to figure out the mass of the object that struck. There's all kinds of cool things we could do. But then we're gonna look at 3D prints of craters, because I make 3D prints. I've got a very high-end 3D printer here. It's right there. Okay, it's made by Anycubic. It's an SLA DLP printer, and it prints out things as smooth as this, and you take them off the machine, and they're already done. No cleanup. Well, some cleanup, depending on what you're doing.
Right.
So really cool.
So
we're going to be doing a lot of that. I've got filament printers, too. There's one over on the other side of my office right there. That's a filament printer, the Taz 6 by Lulzbot. As you can see, I'm in my ship. That's my office. Okay. Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. Well, I work for the Navy a lot, so
it was a good theme. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole office is, I got a hatch. You got a hatch to get in. You turn the hatch and get in. But,
oh my God. I got so much. So that's
a whole nother thing. Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And you do Sky Tour.
Sky Tour live stream is our live observatory, and we it's a remote observatory. It's 2,600 miles away from me. We have another one going in that will be 2,400 miles away from me, down in Benson, Arizona. We already got the equipment. We've broken ground, so we're going to be installing that one in the next few months. But last night, for instance, we did a Sky Tour. We started at 11:30 and went till about 2 a.m. Yeah, and I had people from all over the world watching.
And I highly recommend everyone head over to that YouTube channel and subscribe. It's amazing. And your work with MUFON, again, just more credit to you. Marc, absolutely a wonderful show. And definitely want to work with you on something in the future.
I'm sure we'll figure it out, Ty.
All right, brother. So for everyone out there, make sure to like, share, subscribe. And if you're listening on all those great podcast platforms, leave a review. It's free. And, it really helps me. So thank you. And we can reach a really broader audience just with reviews. You don't know
what he said.
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone who wants to get early access to any of the things that we're doing, you can become a member on YouTube or Patreon for as low as a price, a cup of coffee a month. After 12 months consecutive membership, get a gift. We have actually a couple gifts to give out. And I want to say a special thank you to BioMind, which is going to continue to be our main sponsor for season 2. Marc, we will talk soon. Everyone out there in the podcast world, you know what it is. We'll see you next time.